Well, fellows, welcome to another class at Urshan. I'm looking forward to working through the book of Hebrews with you. This will be a fun class, I think. Once we get into the material, I think it's going to be exciting to see all of the Old Testament connections and just how important it is to understand the Old Testament narratives to really grasp what the author of Hebrews is trying to do. This is just going to be a brief overview of the syllabus, the class, and the assignments, and then week one as well. As you can see on the syllabus, if you click the link in the class to the syllabus, you'll be able to see all of my contact information. My phone number is up there. That is my cell phone where it says office number 618-339-4908. You can call or text me pretty much at any time. I generally try to be pretty good about responding quickly. You can also email me at pjohnson@urshan.edu, and don't hesitate to reach out with questions. There are no dumb questions. There are no simple questions. Do not worry about being shamed because you think your question is too dumb or insignificant. It's probably not, and you probably found something that I missed or something that I can refine later as the class goes on, and your questions then provide an opportunity for the next class to do a little bit better. So you can see the textbooks that are here, the handbook on the general epistles and Revelation, and then Michael Kibb's Life in a Lifeless World. That'll be one of our other textbooks. And then there'll be other assigned podcasts, Bible Project stuff, because I'm a big fan. And I think their stuff is pretty good and pretty solid, pretty scholarly, actually. So you'll get some of that and some podcasts that will be assigned week to week, module to module. You'll see that we will have text critical discussion responses, contemporary issue responses. So each week we'll have one of each of those where there'll be some reading involved. So you will have to click into the assignment, and the videos, podcast episodes, supplemental reading assignments will be within the flow of that, and then the prompts are generally going to be at the very bottom. Answer those prompts to the best of your ability. My goal in the class is to respond with a video response to your discussions. And so I'm not requiring that you do more than post your own initial discussion response, but for the benefit of yourself, engaging with one another in discussion is only going to enhance the learning process for you. So I really encourage you to don't just view the responses of others, but engage, ask questions. And then when I respond with the video response to your discussion post, engage back. That's where learning is going to really happen. And then the intertestament reflection, the Hebrews manuscript, which is going to be your kind of like your research paper. It's not going to be a research paper per se, but that assignment and the Better Than Creative Project. Those are going to be released a little bit after you've gone through a couple of modules before we actually jump into those. So I want you to get a little bit of Hebrews meat swallowed before you jump into those assignments. And so I'll give a deeper explanation as the course progresses on those. Don't stress out. I think you're going to be able to do it. It's just going to be plugging away, just like most of your classes. And then there'll be a weekly reading quiz that's happens each week, and you just verify how much of the reading you completed. As you know, I accept late work. Typically, my general rule of thumb is if you post something late, then I may or may not respond to it. If you post it on time, then I'll get you a response. This class, though, if you do have a late assignment, which you can turn in late work, it will have a 10% deduction with it. So just keep that in mind as you're working through the class. You'll see here each module, we have 8 modules. We're going to cover the whole book of Hebrews, and it's broken down the Hebrews chapters that we'll read and then kind of the topics that we'll focus on. And you can see that right there in that layout. And then for your first week before you begin, you've got all of the typical Urshan before you begin, little things you have to do, the honor code, the academic honesty policy, course overview, contact information. You can see my contact information, so you can reach out to me. That's in there again. There's the syllabus, and then very important, The syllabus quiz for attendance must be completed by August the 19th. You have to complete that. If you don't complete it by August the 19th at midnight Central Standard Time, there is the potential that you would be dropped from the class. So please, as soon as you're done seeing this video, click that link, take that quiz, and complete that. Week 1 overview, to-do, and list, or overview and to-do list. Watch this video. Complete your syllabus quiz by Wednesday, 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then you can see this week you're going to have a bit of hefty reading for your first week. After this week, the amount of reading will take a bit of a dip. It won't be quite as heavy week to week. You're not going to have 80 pages to read every week, plus 2 chapters or 1 chapter of Hebrews to read. This week, though, it will be a little bit heavier on the reading. So read those things and then complete your text critical discussion number 1, who wrote what to whom. There's a series of videos from scholars talking about the authorship and the purpose and various text critical discussions that happen around the epistle to Hebrews, which you'll see in some Bibles it'll say the epistle of Paul to the Hebrews, and in truth I think you'll find out we may not know that much about whether or not it's an epistle, if it's even to Hebrews, or if Paul even wrote it. And then each week we'll have a contemporary issues discussion. So I will try and tack in something that's going on in culture and that connects with how the book of how Hebrews can impact and inform our everyday, day-to-day living thousands of years after the book of Hebrew was completed. And then finally, you will not receive a grade per se for Watch the Weekly Roundup, but I will post a video similar to this one that just summarizes the week, reflects on the questions that you've asked, that will reflect on the discussion comments that you've made. And then if you have text questions or something about Hebrews 1 through 2 for this week, I want you to send those questions to me about the text. And in the weekly roundup, that's where I will answer those questions. So that's kind of like if you ever had Jared Runk's Old Testament lit class, he would have an Ask the Rabbi section. Well, watch the weekly roundup. That's where you ask your questions about the text that we read in Hebrews 1 or 2 for this week. So looking forward to the class, to the reading, to the resources. As you're going along, if you come across a resource that's connected to Hebrews that impacted you in some way, a podcast, a video lecture, a book you read, share it with the class, share it with me. I'm always interested in new information. God bless and looking forward to the class.